Okay. Here we go.
Here we go. Good morning.
Morning, OddCast11, Colin.
Who'd have thought we'd get as far as 2 and here we are at 11? But I'm worried about you.
Why is that?
I am worried about you because you got locked out. Now, update me on the lockout.
LinkedIn lockout, the scandal. So I went to log into my LinkedIn profile a couple of weeks, 2 weeks ago now, to be told that there is suspicious activity on your account and you have to verify yourself. Now, bear in mind that I've had this account for 14 years. I use two-factor authentication. I changed the password. Well, the password's very strong, but it was impossible to get back in. I thought, because occasionally get this, it started off with a security thing with a silly dog. You had to sort of turn the right way around, and then it said suspicious. So I thought, what's going on here? And I do occasionally get a problem with browsers. I was using the Firefox browser, but it completely locked me out. And then told me I had to verify my identity. So they wanted my passport or driving license. Now, I rail against that. I just don't think it's necessary, and I don't trust social media platforms with my personal data. So I said, no, I'm not doing it. So I contacted support and was getting absolutely nowhere.
Were they sending you in one of those ever-decreasing circles of computer says no, computer says no?
Yeah, exactly that. And it went on and on. And here's what I think is happening with social media platforms. Artificial intelligence is noting what they think is suspicious, and then you can't contact a human being unless you comply.
So someone has told their AI program, look out for the following. And then the IA program is educating itself and developing itself on its experiences. So old middle-aged man with glasses might be suspicious.
Yeah.
And he's doubly suspicious if he's got a goatee and he wears a black t-shirt and he posts regularly about crime, fraud, and client due diligence. That's obviously suspicious to the AI. Or is it somebody posted something purporting to be you or about you? Do you know?
No, you can't. The thing about the ironic thing about this was that I said, okay, tell me what the suspicious activity is when I was talking to the support and by email, and they said, we can't because of our privacy policy.
As in, we can't tell you why we're suspicious of you because it might not be you?
I've absolutely no idea. They wouldn't, you just couldn't get any sense. It was sticking to a script all the time. You have to do this. So
how did you break this? How did you break through?
Right. So there, I wasn't happy about uploading a passport. I uploaded my driving license. But then if you've seen the post, it says there's a company called Persona, and they say we keep this for 6 weeks or so. And I thought, well, why would you need my passport for 6 weeks? And I've already verified myself. So I took it upon myself to contacted them, because they're a third-party provider, to say, I don't want you to keep my passport, remove it in terms of, and that was in relation to data protection legislation. And
so you exercised your GDPR rights to say you can hold my data only for an agreed purpose, only an agreed period of time, and only for proportionate purposes and periods. I'm tripping myself up.
Yeah.
And they said yes to that?
They did reply. I think it took about 2 or 3 days, which I was fine with, and they've confirmed that it's all been removed. But my worry with all this is not only the data protection side of it. I think it's, yeah, okay, I'm all against scammers. Verify me by all means if you want my data, but get rid of it by default. I shouldn't have to ask you to get rid of my data. You should just get rid of it once you've done it. But secondly, AI is supposed to save us time, isn't it? And it took me 2.5 days to get that sorted out.
Because in this regard, you don't expect to have a problem with Facebook and Meta. You don't expect to get Nick Clegg on the end of the line as European VP, whatever his title is. But you do expect to be able to reach someone who says, I'll look into that for you, I'll resolve it. But that's expensive, isn't it? Human beings are expensive. And I think the social media platforms as a business model of saying, no, we can design chatbots et al. To
Mm.
avoid this necessity. So you and I think, are in the same camp. And I don't mean Cub Scouts, but the same camp whereby we'll give up our identity documents only when we have to, and only for the purposes we want, and only for the periods where we want. And
Yeah.
surely that's good practice, isn't it? In this world of scammers, in this world of theft.
Yeah, I completely get it. I mean, I'm not against verification, don't get me wrong, but I just, why would you need to keep somebody's passport for 6 weeks? I don't get it. And that whole process needs revisiting for me. But anyway, so I am back
Okay.
in. I am back in.
You're back in, you're back in, and you're back in. And if we just talk business life as much as Oddcast life, you're back in and you're promoting the services you offer. I've not been locked out. I've not been locked in at the pub either, but that's another story. And I'm continuing to promote myself. But Colin, we're at 1 minute and I'm in need of a joke.
Okay, I've got one for you today, very relevant to what we talk about. So I found out recently that a local band had set up a money laundering business.
I'm afraid to say, and we don't script this, but I'm imagining Paul McCartney and Wings.
No, nothing like that. But apparently they wanted to clean up their notes.
I'm not sure if Band on the Run after they were caught laundering isn't better, but maybe the judges of the jokes can say that this joke, they wanted to clean up their notes, or the band is now on the run. They can tell us which is better. But Colin, looking at the timer,
Oh, it's gone for him.
15 seconds. I need to say cheerio to the fans.
Bye, everybody. We'll see you again very soon.
If they log on, Colin, if they log on. Thank you
true.
all.
This is
Cheerio.
true. This is true.